return to work to say that I love my Lord Jesus, I love all people, and I love my job. I want to continue to serve all three as I have tried to do until now.
Fitting indeed that we begin the week finding ourselves once again on the verge of crisis. A nation turning itself inside out, left to decide what action we need to take, now in light of the fact that we are embroiled in a crisis of biblical proportions.
What do you mean, biblical?
What he means is Old Testament, Mr.
Yes.
Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Enough, I get the point.
The question now before us is really, do we get the point? Are we understanding what is indeed at stake here? And if indeed dogs and cats did choose to live together, are we on the verge of a cataclysmic upheaval?
Are we not a big enough, a loving enough, and a tolerant enough state to find a way to accommodate my deeply held religious convictions? While my case may be the most visible right now, there are millions of other people out there in the private and the public sector who face and are in the same position, and they also need reasonable accommodations. I urge everyone to remain civil and peaceful. I pray that our dialogue remains civil and respectful, because I love the Lord and I love all people. I harbor no ill will to anyone. I hate no one, because I have been transformed by the love and forgiveness of my Lord Jesus Christ. I love every person. I love you all because he first loved me.
How about we go climb down from this high horse for a couple of minutes and examine Kim Davis' statement this morning, one that even bad lawyers are shaking their heads at, seeking to decipher the incredible amount of mumbo-jumbo and legal gobbledygook that has been tossed into what at the core is a very simple statement with some very simple conclusions which should be drawn.
Are we not a big enough, a loving enough, and a tolerant enough state?
Let's focus on tolerance. A good case can be made here that it's Kim Davis who's failing to be tolerant. From the Bible, Matthew chapter 7, verse 1, judge not that you not be judged. John chapter 8, verse 7, and as they continued to ask him, he stood up to them, let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her.
By virtue of the authority vested in me. Oh, lay off, we haven't started yet. Come on. Who threw that? Who threw that stone? Come on. Sorry, I thought we started. Go to the back. Oh, dear. Always one, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. Kim Davis wants to preach tolerance, yet where is her tolerance? Love everyone. But if she did indeed love everyone and harbor no ill will against anyone, as the Bible teaches us she should, Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, do not seek revenge or bear a grudge against anyone among your people, but love your neighbor as yourself. Would she then not seek to understand and not judge as the Lord instructs her? Kim Davis has got to be allowed her religious preference. But this is America, where there are laws that must be obeyed. And if she truly wants to stand on her religious preference, do it. But stop being a flaming hypocrite. Stop cherry-picking the Bible. Follow your teachings to the letter instead of covering them up with laughable legalese. Or put a sock in it. Romans chapter 13, verses 1 through 14. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resists what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. With some biblical assistance, that's my opinion, telling it like it is. Rock on, true believers.